Hello and welcome to the Excel VBA Objects series. In this video we'll see the difference between objects and collections. And we will also see how to reference a collection compared to an object. So what are the differences and the similarities? If you've seen the previous video in this series or the tutorial for beginners in this channel, you should already be familiar with the concept of objects and how they work in Excel VBA. Examples of objects include a workbook, a worksheet, a range of cells, a shape, a chart, etc. Objects of the same type form or belong to a collection. Let's have a look at this picture to clarify that. That's part of the object hierarchy model that we covered in the previous video. Some of the objects that form a collection are highlighted. For example, the workbook object is a member of the workbooks collection, which contains all the open workbook objects in Excel. So here we have three workbook objects, workbook 1, workbook 2, and workbook 3, and they form the workbooks collection. Similarly, the worksheet object is a member of the worksheets collection, and the chart object is a member of the charts collection. But here we see that both worksheet and chart objects are also members of the sheets collection. In this example, worksheet 1 and worksheet 2 are part of the worksheets collection too. Let me show you another more visual example. I think you already know where I'm going. And yes, each shape object, the rectangle, the triangle, etc., belong to the shapes collection in worksheet sheet 1. There is a second very important statement that you need to know about collections. Collections are actually objects themselves. Yes, and so they have properties and methods too. And if you still don't know what properties and methods are, I encourage you to check the tutorial for beginners. And yet, I'm going to cover again and in much more detail how to use properties and methods in the next video. Now let's go to the Visual Basic Editor and see how to reference a collection versus an object. So let's take, for example, the workbooks collection. That would be workbooks. And if I add a dot here, we get the list of properties and methods that apply to the workbooks collection object. For example, we can use the count property to count the number of workbooks currently open in Excel. Or we can also use the add method to add a new workbook to the collection. Now, what's the difference with the workbook object then? If we write workbooks and we specify a particular workbook with the index or the name, let's try, for example, book 1. And if we write a dot after that, we get a different list of properties and methods. There might be some in common, sometimes depends on the object, but many are different. For example, we do not have the count property because it doesn't make sense to count a single workbook, right? Also, we don't have the add method because we add a workbook to the collection, not to the other workbook. For the workbook object, we can activate this workbook, we can save, we can close, and we have so many other properties and methods that we can apply to the object. So that's the difference between the workbooks collection object and the workbook object. Let's see another example. Here's the worksheets collection. If we write a dot, we can add a new worksheet. We can also count the number of worksheets. And we can actually also copy or delete. And these are methods that we can also use with a particular worksheet. And we can refer to the worksheet object, identifying the worksheet with the index or with the name. Or we could also refer directly to the name of the worksheet here. In this case, if we add the dot, we get the list of properties and methods. And as you see, it's a bit different than what we've seen for the worksheets collection object. And we can use many other properties and methods. So we're going to cover individually each of these objects in this series. So for now, I'm just showing you briefly. Let's have a look at another example. Here we have the shapes collection in sheet 1. And as we've done before, we can refer to the shapes collection in sheet 1, and when we add the dot, we get the list of properties and methods for the shapes collection object. As you see, we can add a new label, a picture, we can add different types of shapes to the shapes collection, and we can also, of course, count the number of shapes. Let's count the number of shapes and put it in a message box. How many shapes do you think we have in the shapes collection here? Some of you may say 5, and maybe some of you will say 6, and maybe some of you who know a little more about the shapes collection will say 8. If we run this, as you see, we have 8 shape objects in the shapes collection. And if you wonder where the 8 objects are, we can use again the shapes collection object to select all of them. Let's run it. You see now we have 8 shape objects because the text boxes are also part of the shapes collection. And in the same way, I could show you several other examples. We have the Windows collection object, and we can, for example, count the number of windows, and if we want to refer to the Windows object, then we have to use the index. As you see, we can only refer to a window object with the index because windows don't have a name. And then we can apply any properties and methods. We can do the same with the charts collection object, and we could, for example, add a new chart. And if we want to refer to the chart object, we write charts again, always with S. And then we specify the chart object with the index or with the name of the chart. We are also going to see some objects that do not really have a collection. That's the case of the WorksheetFunction object. And that's actually a collection of worksheet functions in Excel, but that's a single object, and we do not have the worksheet functions collection here. So that's an example. And here we could use whatever function we want to use, the sum for a particular range. Another such example is probably the range object. Despite there is actually a ranges object, but we don't really use that much, so we always use a range specified with the column letters and row numbers. And that was it for today's video in the Excel Objects series. In the next video, we're going to see the difference between properties and methods and how to use them correctly. See you then, and thanks for watching.